Hello everyone, T Fox here, and today we're going to be talking about Wonder Woman 1984. So I actually saw the movie. So this is a review. Sorry. So it's spoiler free, so don't worry about it for those that want to see it. So I'm just going to tell you exactly my real take on it, exactly how I feel about it, real talk. I like DC, I like Marvel, I like all those things. So I'm not going to be biased and saying, "Oh yeah, it's the greatest movie of all time, so you should go watch it." No, I'm just gonna tell you exactly the pros and cons personally what I feel. Again, this is my personal opinion, so if during what I say you don't agree with that, that's completely fine. But that's just personally how I think. So personally here, I feel like the first one was better for sure. The first one was better because it had a little bit more of a plot, I would say. Um, I like the fact that, as you know, like the trailer showed, they went back how she was when she was a little girl, like the first one. Um, I kind of feel like because from the trailer you see that Steve is there. You know, he's from the first movie, and then we didn't see him again after he took the plane and it went up. So I kind of feel like bringing him back. I'm not gonna tell you how they brought him back into this movie, but bringing him back to this movie, he's so important to her that I kind of feel like it should have been an entire movie just to speak about him and her and the reason why, and they could have made like a very useful plot or something around that. But what happened is that I feel that they had a story and then they put him and then they put all of them together, a bunch of stuff all together, and they kind of went a half baked story, a little bit of both, just a tiny bit, and that's pretty much how I felt about it. Like, I feel like the story could have been great if it was just going to talk about him and the plot behind that and something more useful, but they went the other way for that, and it's not bad, but I kind of feel like they missed the mark on that part. um as for the rest, the main villain and how they want to go about in this way, I kind of feel like the main villain of the story wasn't that great. you know um I think the story focused a little bit too much on bureaucracy and just talking about this and that and that and this, and it wasn't like the first movie. What I liked about the first movie was the fact that there was a lot of action, and you could see why she was very strong. You could see why she was doing the thing that she was doing. In this one, she kind of feels like she's broken in a sense. So she's pouting all the time. So it's just like like the first one I felt like the spark. I felt like, yeah, that's Wonder Woman. Yeah. In this one I kind of felt like, okay, yeah, that's Diana, and okay, it's in 1984, and it's it's okay, it's fine. It wasn't anything like the action scenes and everything. I feel like they kind of missed the mark on that one, and they could have done better when it comes to the action scenes. They could have done way better than that. Like, I feel like they focus a little bit too much on a dialogue, which is why I bring back the fact that bringing back Steve, and then all the baggage that comes with Steve should have been in a movie on its own, personally. And then they could have made a certain twist behind it and a whole thing just with him. But the fact that they had to mix all of them together, it felt like they didn't have enough time to say a much more bigger story, and then that's just the way it is. So, and then they introduced like a couple of things in the movie that I found personally that was really cool. Um, and I feel like maybe they should have focused a little bit more on Diana's story, maybe with the Amazon and her mother, and to showcase a little bit why she feels the way she does about a lot of different things. I think that really would have been like much more interesting in that sense. Um, Beside that, personally, if I on 10, personally, I would give this movie a 6. It's not a bad movie. It's not a oh my god, wow, I need to rewatch it a second time. I would definitely not do that. It's just a movie that you watch and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Diana, Wonder Woman. Okay. Like personally, I love Wonder Woman, especially on her later years. In the Justice League and with Superman and everyone. The way that she fights, bow, 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 and she's super strong, and I personally love her then. But I would like to see if they could make like a crossover with her and Aquaman, because we know in I think it was in Justice League Dark, her and Aquaman were fighting, but that was not. I think that was in Flashpoint. They were fighting, and then it was really 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 really, really dark. So um, I would like to see maybe a crossover between those two movies, but where they're friendly, not in that Flashpoint timeline, where they're friendly and they work together. That would have been fun to see Aquaman swim, and then you saw Wonder Woman that's flying, then that drags him up, and then they make like a full fighting sequence. I think that would work. On that one here, I didn't feel anything special. It wasn't. There were no spark for me. There wasn't any like. I watched it and I kind of feel like, okay, that was cool. Now, for people that really, really, really big fan of Wonder Woman, I think in this movie, I think you're gonna like the fact that we're seeing a different side to her, to the fact that the more vulnerable side, and I think that on the vulnerable part they did a good job. Like they showed, how she is behind the superhero. There's that person behind that, you know, the fact that she's literally like a god. There is someone there that sometimes feels low, and I think that they really approached that in a good way, because I saw that was a good thing. The main villain of the story, I like the way that they pass through, more like on the ending part, like how he is. At the beginning, I was just like, you know, typical villain, whatever. And I'm not very interested about that. But the resolution of how he is was kind of like, I like that part. It showed a side of most villain that they tend to not show. They always show like villains where just the bad guys and that's it and blah blah blah. But there's always there's always like a reason why they do certain things. So overall, like I said, you should try and see. It's a nice movie to see, with friends and just sit down and watch it. A few discussion later on, but overall, like I said, that's 6 out of 10, and that's pretty much my take on Wonder Woman 1984. So, if you do want to see me review different types of movie again, games, movie, or anything, just feel free to subscribe to this channel and comment on the comment section. Tell me exactly what you think about it, what's your thought, and we'll see what we can do next. Take care, guys.